We're going to be, again, taking testimony, 2 in favor, 2 against. That covers everybody who's in the audience. And then everyone else, they'll have 3 minutes, and then everyone else, other witnesses will just state their positions for the record, for, against, or just want to greet the committee. I ask that you take off your cell phones and any conversations out of the room so that we can hear the people testifying, and members will be able to address either the witnesses or the person providing testimony. We're going to start as a subcommittee, and I believe Senator Yee is here on high occupancy vehicle. Welcome. This is something we've worked on a great deal, Senator.
Yes, Mr. Chair. And Senators, when I was in college, I took a biology class, and I think the gestation period was, I don't know how many months, but I think this takes the record.
Are you talking about the budget now? I didn't think we were talking about the budget.
This bill has taken quite a bit of my time with your support and with your direction, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to kind of review that what we've done is to really work with your staff on a bipartisan basis. And then we went back out in the field and gather even more support, so that right now with this particular bill, there's no opposition whatsoever.
I would like to, before you go on, to compliment you. This is a very important bill. And for a variety of reasons, and I just want to say before you present the bill that you've worked very closely with both the majority and minority staff, and I compliment you for doing that.
Well, as my therapist, I had to do that. So.
We don't have to talk about that, but I'm open if you would like to discuss any issues. And this,
you're both feeling about
that, yes, I'm feeling that this could be a very important. Do you have a white handkerchief that I could wave?
I know you want to always do that to me, but that's okay. I just wanted to let you know that with. I guess the 2 years of discussions, we have taken MPG out of the criteria or criterion. We've dropped it from 85,000 to 40,000 to deal with the issue of the congestion or degradation. Then we are maintaining the white stickers, and then we are further enhancing the current program by delaying the implementation of this program for 6 months. So we're changing the start date. And I think that out of that, we have now a bill where, as I indicate, there's no opposition. But most importantly, this is really about maintaining California as a leadership in trying to reduce emission, help with our environment, but more importantly, generating jobs. And in my tenure on this committee, although short, I learned that it's very important to keep and generate jobs. And so I wanted to acknowledge the influence of your staff and your committee on that. And so with that, urge an aye vote.
Witnesses in support?
Mr. Chairman, members, Mark Watts representing General Motors. This bill before you is a very different bill than was here previously, and we express appreciation, as has the author, for the extraordinary efforts that your staff and folks have gone through to help guide us to this position with this bill. We think the bill will be an important element in helping give assurance to consumers as they decide to go to the next level of alternative vehicles. And for those reasons, we ask for your support.
Mr. Chair and members, Michael Hawkins. I'm here on behalf of Toyota. Toyota is in strong support of this bill. Also wanted to take the opportunity first to thank Senator Yee and Senator Yee's staff. They met with Toyota and were more than willing to work with us and really bent over backwards. I wanted to thank the chair and the staff of the committee because they worked very hard on it. And finally, I wanted to thank Senator Pavley. She's not here right now, but she was also very helpful in the process. So thank you, Senator Yee, and thank you, Mr. Chair. And Toyota's in strong support.
Mike Flanagan, also on behalf of General Motors.
Mr. Chair, members, Bo Biller with Platinum Advisors on behalf of Tesla Motors, also in support.
Sylvia Solisha on behalf of the California Electric Transportation Coalition in strong support.
Joe Yaka representing Chrysler LLC in support.
Heidi Barsuli on behalf of San Diego Gas and Electric in support.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Let me just briefly kind of summarize, as I understand the bill, Senator Yee, that extends the white stickers from January 1, 2011 to January 1, 2015. The existing yellow stickers are, excuse me, Secretary, please call the roll. I think we have a quorum.
Lowenthal.
Here.
Huff.
Here.
Ashburn.
Present.
DeSaulnier. Harmon.
Here.
Kehoe.
Here.
Pavley. Semidian. Walk.
We have a quorum. A quorum has been established. The existing yellow stickers that are now end on January 1, 2011 are extended in this bill till June 30th, 2011, so we have some kind of continuity there. We establish a new class of vehicles, the enhanced ATP ZEV. Those are the ones that Senator Yee indicated that he had reduced the numbers from, I believe, 80,000, which we originally had heard, to 40,000 to deal with issues of congestion management. Those stickers go into effect January 1, 2012, and they maintain till January 1, 2015, the 3-year. Provides the drivers of single-occupant enhanced ATP ZEVs, that's the new sticker that's going into effect January 1, 2012, are not exempt from paying tolls at the high occupancy, the hot lanes under development on State Highway Route 10 and also 110 in Los Angeles. And I think that generally summarizes where we are today.
That's correct.
Is there a motion on the bill? Bill has been moved by Senator Harmon. Any members wish to comment? Senator Yee, would you like to close?
Let's have a quick delivery, okay?
Thank you. This will be, and just put your sticker right out there, Senator Yee. That'd be just fine.
Let's get this bill out.
That'd be just fine. Secretary, please call the roll.
Lowenthal.
Aye.
Lowenthal, I. Huff. Ashburn. Ashburn, I. DeSaulnier. Harmon.
Aye.
Harmon, I. Kehoe.
Aye.
Kehoe, I. Pavley. Semidian. Walk. 4-0.
Bill has 4 votes, needs 5 for passage. We'll place that on
Thank you
full
very much,
Senate.
Mr. Chair.
All right. Our next, is there another? Assembly Member Fuentes. Welcome.
This is the amendments. It was on the first agenda, but it got taken.
And so it's with. Okay, but it's still on consent.
Yes. So you'll have to announce that because this is
Fine.
this new agenda.
Welcome, Assembly Member.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members. I'm here today to present to you Assembly Bill 1106, which simply makes a clarification in existing law to allow the California Energy Commission to contract with 11 financial development corporations, also known as FDCs, to assist in the processing of loans and loan guarantee monies. These are funds that have been made available to businesses and other specified entities through the Alternative and Renewable Fuels and Vehicle Technology Program. As many of you are aware, AB 118 created the above-mentioned program for the purpose of promoting and developing innovative technologies to help California with the diversification of fuel and vehicle types in order to meet the state's climate change initiatives and policies. The CEC currently has the ability to contract with the State Treasurer's Office to help them get these program funds out to businesses and other approved entities, but does not allow for the same contractual arrangement with the FDCs. Many of you are familiar with your local FDCs, as they are the vehicle for the state's Small Business Loan Guarantee Program, which is administered by the Business Transportation and Housing Agency. The FDCs have been successfully issuing loans, loan guarantees, and lines of credit to small businesses in our communities for over 30 years. This bill would provide that the CEC have a valuable tool for their toolbox by utilizing a well-established state program to assist a new fledgling loan and loan guarantee program. These FDCs have years of lending experience and can provide the CEC with the expertise that they will need to execute the development of their loan programs, not to mention the potential synergies with some of the other loans that are going to be moving through the FDCs and this pot of money. By contracting with the CEC, the FDCs will also be able to backfill a small portion of the general fund dollars that have been siphoned off during the past few budget years. I'd like to accept the committee amendments noted in comment number 3 in the bill analysis. Here with me this afternoon on behalf of the Association of Financial Development Corporations, I have Rena Venturini as a witness.
Thank you, members.
Excuse me, just to say, Assemblyman, thank you for accepting those amendments. But we will not take those amendments in this committee. You're committing to take those amendments in the Appropriations
Thank you for that. It does give us the, I think, necessary technical time to do what we need to in Senate Appropriations. And
we have no problem with that, and we
sir.
support. Now, witnesses in support.
Rena Venturini on behalf of the Association of Financial Development Corporations. We very much appreciate Assemblymember Fuentes moving this bill for us. We believe that the FDCs can be a valuable partner to the CEC in their lending objectives and also in their efforts to promote alternative fuels and vehicles and technologies. As many of you know, the Small Business Loan Guarantee Program has been hit hard over the years, but they've also been a vital player in helping small businesses gain access to capital that's much needed. And we believe that these partnerships that the FDCs can establish with other state agencies and entities will be helpful, again, like Assemblymember Fuentes said, in backfilling some of those administrative dollars. So we strongly urge your support. Thank you.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? I'm wondering, Assemblymember, if I might call up someone from the Energy Commission. Is there anyone here from the, and because I think this is predicated on the fact that they will create a program for this. And so I'm just wondering.
And actually, I'll apologize now for the reason for this coming to you all as a gut and amend. It was during the conversations with the CEC where we recognized that there would be an opportunity for them to be establishing these programs, and I thought to myself, rather than have them establish a new sort of bureaucracy to deal with that, why not build on the FDC? And I think some of that due diligence has resulted in this measure.
And we think it's an excellent idea. We would just like to hear some comments from the Energy Commission about some thoughts about this and where you might be on this.
Thank you, Senator and members of the committee. My name is Mike Smith. I'm with the California Energy Commission. And just a couple of quick comments regarding the legislation. It does provide the Energy Commission with a broader set of tools and a broader constituency through which we can use our funding to extend the reach of our dollars in a more effective manner. I might add also that we are currently engaged in developing a rather extensive program through the State Treasurer's Office, through which we are providing funding for loan and other loan financing type mechanisms or projects for vehicle manufacturing facilities in California, as well as advanced biofuel production facilities in California. So we see the expansion of that authority or the clarification of that authority in statute, extending it to the FDCs as a positive step in using our dollars for the purposes outlined in AB 118 and AB 109.
And how are those other programs you're developing? You said you're now working with, I believe, the Treasurer's Office, did you say?
Yes.
So you see this as building upon those kinds of negotiations and now moving towards small businesses and a loan program that would be directly targeted possibly for
Very
small
much so,
business.
yes. Yep.
Good. Any idea about when as this bill moves forward, when this all might come to fruition, all of your discussions?
I really can't say. We would move quickly to implement and begin discussions with the FDCs. I'll point out that the work and the negotiations that it took with the State Treasurer's Office were fairly protracted and lengthy. It was a complicated process, and the programs that we're working with through the Treasurer's Office, there's several of them. So It proved to be a complicated process, and it's taken the better part of a year. But there's many lessons that we've learned from that process, and that can be transferred in talking with the FTCs, and hopefully that would accelerate the process considerably.
Good. Members of the committee, Senator Kehoe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of comments here. This is a gut and amend, I think, right? You just amended it.
I just mentioned that, yes.
And it unfortunately we'll have to work this out in appropriations, but it conflicts with SB 1340, my bill on the EV offsets by the CEC. So just to make the committee aware that we'll need to resolve that in the Appropriations Committee when the other amendments that are in the analysis are taken.
Right, I believe your bill is in my committee now.
Yeah.
I think that was noted in comment number 4 in the analysis.
I like this. A little bit of a delicate dance there.
Right here, she has a bill that we heard earlier. There's a conflict because of the planning the same
Good.
section.
Okay.
Policy conflict.
Good. The authority that the CEC has had to negotiate with the Treasurer's Office was really due to the cleanup language, AB 109, which cleaned up and made, we believe, AB 118 even more effective, and this builds upon that kind of ability to do that. Are there other comments by members? I will entertain a motion. Is there a motion by Senator Pavley?
I'll move it.
But Senator Huff jumped right in there while Senator Pavley was there. Yeah. Assembly member, this is just the idiosyncratic nature of not of this bill, of this committee. Not has nothing to do with you.
I can have appreciation for that, sir.
I did stumble on that.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I need a white flag. Senator Huff moves the bill. Assembly member, would you like to close?
Again, respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Lowenthal.
With this bill will be amended in appropriations. Lowenthal, aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff.
Aye.
Huff, aye. Ashburn.
No.
Ashburn, no. DeSaulnier. Harmon.
Aye.
Harmon, aye. Kehoe. Kehoe, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. Semidian. Wolk. 5-1.
Bill has sufficient votes for passage, but we'll leave it open, leave it on call for the absent members. Thank you. Can I hear a motion on the consent calendar? We have 4 items. Item number 2, item number 3, item number 5 are as presented. Item number 6 is on the consent calendar, ACR 174 by Assemblymember Eng, but that's with amendments, and that's on the consent calendar, I believe. Is there any question?
My numbering is a little different from what you did. My item 2 is G, which we already voted on.
No, that's my item number 1.
We added one late, and we kept it out of order on purpose. Your staff put it.
Let me read that again, so that.
Read it by bill number.
Let's read it by bill number. The consent calendar is SCR 116, Senator Ducheney. SCR 118, Senator Denham. ACR 126, Assemblymember Davis. And ACR 174, as amended, Assemblymember Eng. Those are the 4 items on the consent calendar. They have been moved by Senator Kehoe. Will the Secretary please call the roll on the consent calendar?
Lowenthal.
Aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff.
Aye.
Huff, aye. Ashburn. Ashburn, aye. DeSaulnier. Harmon.
Aye.
Harmon, aye. Kehoe. Kehoe, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. Semidian. Wolk. 6-0.
Before we present the next one, let's lift the call on item number 1, Senator Yee's item, which already, and the Secretary please present the votes and the vote total.
Current votes 4-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair has not voted. Huff. DeSaulnier. Pavley. Aye. Pavley aye. Semidian. Wolk. 5-0.
Bill has 5 votes, sufficient for passage. We'll place that back on call for the absent members. Assemblymember Liu is not here, but he has a staff member. We have just 2 items left, that and mine, to present his on the Santa Monica Airport. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. AJR 41 would memorialize the FAA and federal regulators to work collaboratively to review noise levels and the safety of flight operations at Santa Monica Airport, to examine the air pollution impact on the communities that surround the airport, and to enlist the help of expert scientists to study the effects of emissions from the airport and apply that science into remediation. The Santa Monica Airport's runway on each end is less than 300 feet from a densely populated residential community. It's more closely surrounded by residences than any other airport in the country, and the airport has experienced a tremendous increase in the number of jet aircraft operations in the last 20 or so years. Residents in the area near the airport have complained about experiencing negative impacts on their health and quality of life due to the air and noise pollution. AJR 41 will, we hope, send a message to the federal government that they can't continue to ignore the public health risks associated with the airport. There's no opposition and support from environmental groups, residents, and neighborhood groups in the South Bay, and I would respectfully request your aye vote.
Witnesses in support.
Victoria Rome with Natural Resources Defense Council in support.
Other witnesses in support?
Tressa Wallace with Shaw Yoder Antwi on behalf of the City of Santa Monica. We're not officially in support. However, we did want to thank the author for working with us on some amendments on just the factual language. In fact, one of our council members is taking it to our council this evening requesting support, so we just wanted to thank them on that. One of our last remaining issues was amended in the last version, so we're just pleased to be here if you have any questions.
So we have one support and one thank you. Next.
Luis Cabrales, Coalition for Clean Air. Coalition for Clean Air is in support of this bill. Coalition for Clean Air released a study in June of this year highlighting the fact that today 60 million adults who live near almost 20,000 airports are affected by lead air pollution. Unfortunately, the federal government at this point doesn't seem to be doing much to relieve this problem. In fact, according to a report by the aviationweekly.com, the EPA has just recently reassured the aviation officials that its recent advance notice on proposed rulemaking on the use of lead in aviation gasoline was meant as a means to collect additional information. In the letter dated July 27th, the EPA says that they're only collecting information, that they're not moving forward with a rule or regulation to address lead in aviation fuel. We are very concerned about this, and we are in support of this bill. It is up to the state of California to ensure that California residents are not impacted by lead and other toxic pollutions from the aviation industry.
Are there other witnesses in support? Are there any witnesses in opposition? Members of the committee? Senator Harman.
I understand that there was some sort of a study made by doctors at UCLA Medical Center that sort of triggered this. Is that basically what happened?
That's correct. There was a study in February of this year by residents at UCLA Hospital that found elevated levels of black carbon in the neighborhood near the airport.
Let me ask you this. These were pediatricians from the staff at UCLA. What kind of scientific qualifications do pediatricians have to study air pollution?
I don't know their scientific qualifications. I think, though, they were supervised And
They were supervised by another pediatrician on the staff, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Well, you know, all due respect to the doctors and their good intentions, it doesn't strike me as being particularly valid to have physicians conducting. I mean, that's something I would expect, you know, someone that's trained as an engineer or pollution control or something like that, but resident pediatricians at a prominent medical school makes me wonder if their findings are really correct. So I wonder if you could comment on that.
Sure. Assemblymember Liu introduced a resolution a year or so ago and has pursued legislation on this subject in past years. The resolution, I think, asked the federal government to continue to study, to do more studies, examine the impact of the airport operations on the neighboring communities, to augment the study that the pediatricians did earlier this year.
Thank you, Senator Harman. Is there a motion on the resolution? So moved. Resolution has been moved by Senator Kehoe. Would you like to close?
I would just ask for your aye vote.
Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Lowenthal.
Aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff.
No.
Huff, no. Ashburn. Ashburn, no. DeSaulnier. Harmon.
No.
Harmon, no. Kehoe. Kehoe, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. Semidian. Wolk, 3-3.
Bill has 3 votes. We'll place it on call for the absent members. We have one last bill, members, and that's by the chair. SB 518 on gray water standards. I'm going to pass the gavel to Vice Chair.
Go ahead and present at will.
I'm not presenting at will today. I'm presenting SB 518. At will was already heard earlier in the session.
One of those idiosyncratic
Thank you,
measures.
Senator.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, we're talking about gray water standards in non-residential construction. Gray water is the water that flows from our sinks, our showers, and our washing machines. In a state with as frequent and severe water shortages as we have, gray water is a great source of water for outdoor watering and for indoor toilet use. 2 years ago, I offered SB 1258 to require the Department of Housing and Community Development to develop building standards for the indoor and outdoor use of gray water in residential settings. That bill received unanimous votes in the legislature, was signed into law, and resulted in standards that have now facilitated the installation of gray water systems in homes, saving as much as, we believe, 22,000 gallons of water per home per year. That's already done. So we did 2 years ago gray water standards, asking them in residential. It's now time to take it to the next step to move towards non-residential construction. This bill requires that the Building Standards Commission to develop building standards for indoor and outdoor use of gray water systems in non-residential settings. It's bipartisan, also supported by both the environmental community that sees the potential for huge water savings, as well as by the building industry that wants more alternatives to meet even more stringent water budgets. So I urge your aye vote. And I have witnesses here in support.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. I'm Bob Raymer, Senior Engineer with the California Building Industry Association, and as the author has just indicated, we've already spent a year and a half putting together regulations for the residential sector, reduces consumption of our potable water supply, but affords industry with a greater level of alternatives. We're now ready to take that next step and do the same thing for commercial standards. It just provides us with greater flexibility, and we support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Callahan with the California Chamber of Commerce. For the reasons just stated, we support the bill.
Matthew Hargett with the California Business Properties Association. We appreciate that the author has directed that the Building Standards Commission do these standards. We're supportive of gray water standards and appreciate your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria Rome with Natural Resources Defense Council, and this is an important option for conserving more water in the state, and we support the bill. Thank you.
Thanks. Other witnesses in support? Witnesses against? Seeing none, we'll bring it back up to the members. We have a motion. Any questions, comments? Any close?
I just urge your aye vote.
All right, please call the roll.
Lowenthal.
Aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff.
Aye.
Huff, aye. Ashburn. Ashburn, aye. DeSaulnier. Harmon.
Aye.
Harmon, aye. Kehoe.
Aye.
Kehoe, aye. Pavley. Semidian. Walk. 5-0.
Amazingly, your bill has enough votes to get out of the committee, Senator Lowenthal.
Let's keep it open.
Okay, we'll keep that open for the absent members so we can come back and add on. I'll return the gavel to the rightful owner.
Thank you, Senator. I think that concludes our business. Has everyone voted? I believe everyone here has voted on all the bills. But let's hold the roll open for another 10 minutes until members, and if the sergeants can just announce to the absent members that we've completed all the business for Senate Transportation and Housing, and if the absent members can come to 4203 just to vote, and we'll keep the roll open until 5 to 2.
What about the next committee?
I think your meeting, I think, at what time, 2 o'clock?
No.
Right after
1:30. Yeah.
All right, let's just see if we can get all the absent members, let's say until 10 of 2. Let's wait for 7 minutes. So try to get the absent members. We're just going to keep the roll open for 7 minutes. All right, let's open the roll.
Starting at item number 1.
Yes, we're going to go through the roll. Item number 1, Senator Yee, SB 535.
Current vote 5-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair has not voted. Huff. DeSaulnier. Semidian. Walk. Aye. Walk aye. 6-0.
Has sufficient votes. We'll hold the roll open for another 5 minutes for the absent members. Next, we're going to vote on the 4 items on the consent calendar: SCR 116, SCR 118, ACR 126, and as amended, ACR 174. Senator Semidian, we're voting on the consent calendar.
Current vote 6-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier. Semidian. Aye. Semidian aye. Walk. Aye. Walk aye. 8-0.
It's 8 votes. We'll hold that open for the absent member. Let's go back to item number 1, the only other vote item we've taken up, which is Senator Yee's SB 535, vehicle high occupancy vehicle lanes.
Current vote 6-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair has not voted. Huff. DeSaulnier. Semidian. Aye. Semidian aye. 7-0.
Bill has 7 votes. We'll hold that open for the absent member. Next, we've done is AB item number 4, AB 1106, Assemblymember Fuentes, Alternative and Renewable Fuel and Vehicle Technology.
Current vote 5-1. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier. Semidian. Semidian aye. Walk. Walk aye. 7-1.
Bill has 7 votes. We'll hold that open for the absent members. Next, Assemblymember Liu, AJR 41, Santa Monica Airport.
Current vote 3-3. Chair aye. Vice Chair no. DeSaulnier. Semidian. Aye. Semidian aye. Walk. Walk aye. 5-3.
Bill has 5 votes, sufficient for passage. We'll hold it open for the absent member. And then the last item is SB 518, Lowenthal Building Standards, gray water, non-residential construction.
Current vote 5-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier. Pavley. Semidian. Aye. Semidian aye. Walk. Aye. Walk aye. 7-0.
It has 7 votes, sufficient for passage. We're going to hold the roll open for 5 more minutes, members.
any other items that I've not voted on?
You voted on all the items. If you voted on the 4 consent calendar items, I believe you voted.
Yes.
And you voted on Senator Yee's item, Fuentes, Liu, and Lowenthal. You are fine. Okie doke. We'll just wait for 5 more minutes, and then we'll begin natural resources. And you can take that too. While we're waiting, we could do an update on the budget. Now that we've completed that update, is there? You have not voted on one item. Let's make. Yes?
I voted for Mr. Lowenthal.
Yes, you did not vote for the senator. The chairs.
Come down and let's talk.
Oh, Senator DeSaulnier, just when I needed you. We're going to open the roll on all the items. First one is item number 1, Senate Bill 535, Senator Yee. The present vote is?
Current vote 7-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair has not voted. Huff. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeSaulnier aye. 8-0.
That bill is out. 8-0. The next are the 4 items on the consent calendar. Senator Ducheney, SCR 116. Senator Denham, SCR 118. Assemblymember Davis, ACR 126. And as amended, ACR 174 by Assemblymember Eng.
Current vote 8-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier.
Aye.
DeSaulnier aye. 9-0.
The consent calendar is approved. The next is Assemblymember Fuentes, item number 4, AB 1106.
Current vote 7-1. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier.
Aye.
DeSaulnier aye. 8-1.
Bill has 8 votes. That bill is out. Then the next one is Assemblymember Liu, AJR 41.
Current vote 5-3. Chair aye. Vice Chair no. DeSaulnier.
Aye.
DeSaulnier aye. 6-3.
Bill is out. And the last one is Senate Bill 518, Senator Lowenthal, Building Standards, Gray Water, Non-Residential Construction.
Current vote 7-0. Chair aye. Vice Chair aye. DeSaulnier.
The Lowenthal bill? Aye.
I didn't hear you.
Don't make me do it twice.
Pavley?
He did not.
Pavley aye. 8-0.
No, 9.
I
DeSaulnier just said
didn't hear
9.
an aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Thank you. DeSaulnier aye.
Bill has 9.
In spite of the author.
A good bill stands on its own merits, regardless of who authored it. Thank you. This committee is now adjourned.